Hello and welcome back to Wario Winter, the advent calendar where I'm walking through every single Wario game. Today, we're looking at Wario's first solo adventure, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Let's get started. Now obviously, this game only has the Mario Land subtitle for sales reasons, like Yoshi's Island before it. But don't be fooled, this game is completely different from anything I've played before in both the Land series and the Mario games as a whole. Wario may share some of the DNA in his games, but the entire design philosophy is different here. But let's get further into it. First thing that I noticed was the way the physics felt. When playing Mario games, I'm used to the more floaty controls where Mario may skyrocket on a jump and is able to run and is overall fairly agile. Wario, however, is obviously quite the deal larger than Mario. Surprisingly, they actually managed to convey that super well in this game. Wario feels super heavy as a character, the jumps have stronger gravity, and the shoulder move you use feels like it has some extreme weight to it. This is surprising to me because we're still on the Game Boy here, which, although a perfectly capable system, it's also very limited in its capabilities as a whole. So to see them use these clever physics tweaks to convey that Wario is a heavy platformer character, with all of the limits they have, just speaks to how much care went into this game. I also thought it was interesting that for all intents and purposes, the pick up and throw mechanic from the US Super Mario Bros. 2 is here once again, and is your other main combat choice when you're a small Wario or when you don't want to or can't charge. It's just cool that they decided to give that idea another try in a different franchise. Once you get used to your weighty jumps, the controls are super intuitive. I always felt super powerful when I played as Wario. It's overall your standard platforming control setup, but having the extra moves for the charge and the pickup mechanic adds just enough spice to make it feel fresh, especially coming from the very basic controls of Land 2. I do feel like the levels were rather bare. I understand that they have to do less because of the hardware, but knowing what they've done in the past, it's interesting that the levels here are relatively plain. They don't even use the idea that we're on a food-based island that well, or much at all within the different sections of levels, and I think they could have gone a whole lot deeper with that theme in their design. This mostly just applies to the levels though, because Kitchen Island itself is super well designed and leans into its themes fairly well. On the topic of levels, I love the boss fights here, mostly because they're just so out there. I'm used to fighting the same 5 enemies in the Mario series, so to fight things like a Minotaur and a Genie was so nice, and I know Wario bosses only get more wild from here, so I'm excited. The 2 power-ups here are pretty cool, being basically an evolution of the power-ups from Land 2. I found myself wanting the dragon transformation the most, as I really liked that it had such a large range, making taking care of enemies no issue. The designs that the power-ups gave Wario are clever, and again make do with what they have given the resources. Another aspect I know gets more elaborate the further we go in. This was a must-play game for me, and now I'm glad I have. Experiencing these games finally was the whole reason I wanted to do this month, and I'm excited to get into the sequels. What do you think of the original Wario Land? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.